Welcome to the newest edition of the J-Karp Show, starring yours truly. Now today, we're going to talk about Joe Paterno, the Penn State coach, former Penn State coach, getting fired. Now listen here, Joe is 84 years old. 46 of those years he has been coaching at Penn State University. Now, amidst allegations of his former defensive coordinators abused of 9 boys, he has been fired by the Board of Trustees, as well as President Graham Spanier. Well, thank God for that one, at least. Now, the big question is, was it the right thing? Was it right for the Board of Trustees to fire Joe Paterno? Well, there's a lot of controversy over it. According to a poll on CNN, 75% of people actually believe it was the right thing. However, more than half the students at the school are upset with that. I'll tell you that right now. Here's one quote that was actually sent in from Nicole A. from Penn State. She's a freshman student there. Quote, absolutely disgusted. From a student's perspective, it's like, where do we go from here? We no longer have a president. We no longer have a 46-year legacy. Here is another one sent in by an anonymous student at Penn State. Quote, I think it's only fair to let him, Paterno, ride out the season because this is the house that Joe built. Unquote. Now, here are the opinions of the opposition sent in. This one, I don't have a name, but he is a citizen of the country of Colombia. Quote, Joe Paterno needs to be horsewhipped, then cornholed, as he is a guilty accomplice as he was aware of sex crimes against children. And he put his own interest and coaching career ahead of the welfare of a child. Here in Colombia, we would publicly beat them all as we have street justice and do not rely on a corrupt legal system. Yeah, one problem with that. We're in America. This is not Colombia. I care less what you guys do in Colombia for your child. You beat them on the street, that's fine. We're not going to do that. This is the good old USA. Lord knows it's going to take forever for them to actually convict them. Hopefully not. But that's our legal system. That's how it's going to be. Now, here's another one from Bill. I don't have any more info on him, though. Quote, he deserved to be fired. He tried to sound like a great guy by saying he would step down after the season because of the allegations. So what? He was going to retire anyways. He deserved what he got. Yeah, sure. Roll with that. Oh, from Anonymous. Don't protest the fallout. Paterno deserved to be fired, and the Board of Trustees made the right call. The real tragedy is that it took so long for any of this to come to light. Well, that's not Joe Paterno's fault it took that long. It's half the members of the school's fault, as far as office positions go. Now, here are 2 more quotes from people that I actually talked to today that said Paterno should have been allowed to retire as a coach, but he should have done more during the allegations. This one is from Evan Pagano. Quote, I agree that the university didn't respond correctly, but any man in this world would report it to police after realizing nothing would happen of it. Now in response, Blake Beck said, quote, true, but the guy who witnessed the sexual abuse hasn't even been fired yet when he should be the one responsible for calling the police or notifying the university. Now see, those are both good points by them. All of them were good points as far as both sides of the story go. I really am not a fan of the ones that the guy from Colombia said. Oh, I just got this in right now. Coach Mike McQueary will not be on the sidelines for this Saturday's game. The word is that they're worried about his safety. His safety? Okay, whoa, wait just a minute. His safety. Okay, so they're worried about his safety. Where was the concern to worry about the 9 boys' safety, huh? God, that makes me sick. Oh, and speaking of sick, the only sick, slightly comical, twist in this horrifying story is that Jerry Sandusky wrote an autobiography in 2001. Guess what it was called? Touched. True, you can't make this crap up. When discussing the worst sports scandals ever, Penn State is now in the discussion. Forget about Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson, and Tiger Woods. That's small stuff. Athletes have been convicted of murder in court and in the nation's collective mind, aka O.J. Simpson. But if the charges against Sandusky hold, it's telling that neither Paterno nor anyone else seems to be screaming about his innocence. How much worse are these crimes against children? And it's because Paterno has been such a positive presence for so many years that his negligence in this scandal seems so unfathomable. To think that this one man's actions destroyed so much. Why, Jerry? Why? Joe Paterno should have and could have done more to protect those kids. But it is such a shame that this is what people will remember about a man who did so much for the advancement of children and people in general. I don't know if you all know this. He donated millions of dollars to build a library named after him for the university. He and his wife Sue have worked tirelessly to help nonprofit organizations and charities. And now all that's gone. It's all forgotten. That decision for Paterno to leave was no longer in his control. He had a press conference Wednesday night. He said he was going to retire at the end of the year. He told the board of trustees not to worry about it. Oh, well, of course they didn't worry about it. Less than 12 hours later, they fired him. It's said that one person's alleged criminal acts could bring about the demise of a wonderful program and a great man. So, if you haven't guessed, I believe he should have been allowed to retire at the end of the year. Because guess what? Earth to Penn State. Your school's rebelling. Have you not seen the riots? There's people destroying property, throwing objects everywhere. They are really upset that you just fired the best thing to happen to their school. Joe Paterno, in my opinion, was the best thing to happen to Penn State University. I'm just flat out saying that. And good luck dealing with your students, Penn State. Good luck dealing with them. Of course, seeing as how you've dealt with the sex scandal so far, I'm not going to get my hopes up. Now, Joe Paterno, thank you for 46 years of service. It's all Jerry Sandusky's fault, as well as Graham Spanier. And to the victims of the scandal, and I am speaking for a lot of people when I say this, sorry. I didn't do it, they didn't do it, Jerry Sandusky did it. And he is a sick, sick person. And he needs to pay dearly for what he did. Well, in the comment section below the video, once again, just tell me what you think. My opinions to quotes opinions, and give me your own. I'll respond. Thank you for watching the second episode of the J-Karp Show. This is J-Karp, signing off.